I was born at St. Luke's Hospital in New Bedford, Massachusetts, and I grew up in Fairhaven, Massachusetts. Well, the family was always in the seafood industry, but as a kid growing up, it was more, athletics, that we'd play baseball in the backyard and football, whether it was at my house or a neighbor's house, and it was a nice community. On my mother's side, her father was a fisherman. He was lost at sea in 1951 on the Paolina. It was a bad storm and they tried to take a quick way home. I believe it was across the shoals, and they went down in the shoals. And then the same grandmother got remarried to another fisherman. Unfortunately, his boat got hit by an oil tanker in 1975, and that was the Eugene H. And there was 3 who got off the boat, and my grandfather was one of them, and it was thick fog, and the 3 of them were speaking to each other, and then they lost communication with him, and the other 2 were rescued, and I believe 5 or 6 perished on that boat as well. My dad was a fish lumper, unloading the vessels in New Bedford, and even as a young boy I would, go down to the dock and pass the pen boards down when he was putting ice aboard the boats. And then in the summers I worked on a water boat. It was a little tugboat that filled the fishing boats with water, and I did that for a few summers. And then as I approached my senior year in high school, I started unloading boats, with my dad and his group as well. He did that his whole life until we went into business in the retail seafood business at Turk Seafood in Mattapoisett. I think at the time, my dad, wanted to do some type of business with me, and my godfather, Tommy Thomas, he came in as well. So he found a nice spot in Mattapoisett, and we opened the fish market in 1983. At that time, there was a lot of fish coming into New Bedford. We stayed there for 3 years, and then we moved to a new location, and that's when we opened the restaurant as well as the fish market. We were wholesaling, and a lot of the restaurants really don't pay their bills, so we were like, you know what, we're going to open our own wholesale account, and it's going to be our own restaurant. So I think it was just another way to move more seafood and actually get paid for it. We did pretty much go in pretty blind, and we just kept going from there. A lot of hard work and determination. And then in '92, my dad suddenly passed away, and my mother was an RN. She was a nurse her whole life, so she retired from nursing that day, and we actually built the business together. And in 2002, we opened the sushi bar. And I'm sure if my father was still around, it might have not gone the same way. But yeah, that was, one of our biggest and probably best moves that we did. It certainly is a family. Like I say, we travel together. We enjoy each other's company. And I mean, like I've always said to the guys, we spend more time with one another here than we do our own families. We better, enjoy and laugh, because life's not forever.